as you look back at the weekend, um, 5-on-5 play I thought was good. Power play I thought was good. Penalty kill was as bad as it's ever been. And they scored, they got credit for 7 power play goals on the weekend, but they actually scored 8 because one, they scored just as time was expiring. And on top of that, we gave up a shorthanded goal. So they scored 9 of their 13 goals either on the power play or on the penalty kill. Now, you're going to end up having shorthanded goals against it. They're killers, but they're going to happen. Um, and the part that was surprising to me is it's a lot of the same pieces and the same group of guys that from Christmas on last year, we scored more shorthanded goals than we gave up power play goals, which is an incredible stat. So if you told me we were going to give up 8 penalty kill goals against, I would have said no way, no how. So it's been a major point of emphasis. I mean, basically, you know, that area of our game might have cost us 2 wins because when you get to 5, you should win every night. And that's not, it's not it's an adjustment that we need to fix. So um, that has to change. Like that has to get organized. That has to get figured out. Besides that, power play scored 6 times. Saw some good things 5-on-5. Came back on Friday night down 3-0. Came back in the game to have a lead late. Disappointing that we couldn't close the game out on Friday, but a lot to reflect on in a positive manner. But definitely have to get the penalty kill figured out.
Also, your thoughts on just going to Arizona State. I know it's a long road trip. What do you do kind of to prepare for that, to get there and have the energy still ready and ready to go for the team?
Well, the thing I told him yesterday is this is a business trip. It's not a vacation. But that being said, I think there's a lot of excitement about the trip. There's a lot of families that are, I think they probably look at it and they go, I can either come to Marquette or I can go to Arizona. And a lot of us are from colder climate areas, so, they choose Arizona. So I think that'll be good for the guys. I know there's a bunch of people from Northern coming, so I want to enjoy the trip, as much as we can, but just understand that we're there on a business trip.
Coach, I want to ask you one question about Tanner. What have you seen from him in the preseason leading up to earn a spot on that first line and then live up to it this first weekend?
Well, Tanner always could score. He's kind of been a little bit of a reclamation project a little bit. When you look back at his history, as he's growing up in the state of Michigan, in his birth year, he was the best player and went to the national team. Kind of got a little bit, sometimes you can get sidetracked because there's so many good players in the national team. So like you come in as the best player from your state, but there's also, 3 guys from Massachusetts and 4 guys from Minnesota. And so, there's, it's a hard place to be for some guys. And, I think going to Des Moines after the national team experience in the USHL, he was on pace to score 20 goals, which is a great number, and had hip surgery, had to redo the hip surgery last year. So there's a lot of unknowns with Tanner coming in. He worked extremely hard to get his body in the right physical shape, and he kind of, we needed a right-handed shooter on that line, and he kind of fit the bill for that. So really happy for him. There's still some areas of his 5-on-5 game because he hasn't played in a year and a half that are going to come, but really happy for him.
Let's talk about updates to the Barry. I know that there's been some, headway there. Just give a little bit of updates on timeline, maybe size adjustment.
Yep. So, rinks, Barry ice sheet's usable now. Yesterday was our first day on it. There's still a little bit of, periphery construction to be completed, but new ice plant, which was needed, and we shrunk it 6 feet. So we're a hybrid now. So we're not Olympic and we're not NHL. We're a hybrid. which I felt like the size yesterday was great. Like it was the first time on, it was great. New glass, new boards. It's the glass the NHL uses that, the glass we had before, when you'd get hit into it, it didn't have any wiggle room for it. So there's the potential for more upper body injuries, head injuries. This glass has give. So, there's going to be less injuries there. Curved siding around the boards, there are areas on the benches. So think about the benches, and then on the end where the glass starts again, it was almost like a turnbuckle. So there's curve there. So player safety, is at much higher, and just like think that shrinking of the rink is just it was such an important piece moving forward for the program, because there's so few Olympic ice sheets anymore that, I felt like had we stayed with Olympic sheet, we might have gotten beat up a little bit in recruiting. Just why you want to go there. There's only 3 of those, type of thing. So there's lots of hybrids. So really excited about